Okay, so welcome and welcome back. I'm going to try to speak loud over the sound of my fans. I don't normally speak loudly, but this is going to be a general tarot reading going through the 12 houses, starting in the house of Pisces, which is the 12th house. So thank you so much for your support on the channel and on the video. 12th house is Pisces, 11th house Aquarius, 10th house Capricorn, 9th house Sagittarius, 8th house Scorpio, 7th house Libra, 6th house Virgo, 5th house Leo, 4th house Cancer, 3rd house Gemini, 2nd house Taurus, 1st house is Aries. I want to start in the 12th house. For Pisces. Dear Holy Spirit, please give me... Hello. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate your support in the chat, on the video, and on the channel. Dear Holy Spirit, please give me a reading for Pisces, aka the 12th house. Okay. Okay, so Pisces, I see you headed towards a new chapter. It looks like whatever you're focused on is generating money, profits, stability, leading you towards this new chapter. So it looks like whatever you've been focused on, nurturing, spending time in, cultivating, seems like from what it looks like for this particular Pisces, it's off the ground. It has momentum, moving you towards your new chapter. So let's see. The readings that I'm getting into should be just a brief energy reading, just like that one. I do short energy readings to see the trajectory and the way the energy is moving. As energy changes all the time, even a thought can change the trajectory in which the way energy moves, leaving room for the Most High, prayer, intercessions, etc. to have the final say. That's what I'm picking up for Pisces. Now I'm moving to our next reading, which is the 11th house for Aquarius. And this reading could have some Aquarius cusp energy, Pisces Aquarius cusp, or Capricorn Aquarius cusp. But again, this is Aquarius's reading. Dear Holy Spirit, please give me a reading for Aquarius. Okay. All right. So, at the moment, at this time, it's evening. The Nine of Swords talks about some sleepless nights, some restlessness, some stress during the night. So we did do a reading earlier today. This is different energy than what we picked up today earlier. But yeah, something stressful going on with Aquarius, it looks like. Something that is bringing Aquarius to a breaking point. And altogether, we have been seeing the alchemist making appearances in Aquarius's readings. So we do still have the temperance here. And so this is a good example to talk about what I mean with the temperance. The temperance, you know, it's the energy that blends elements together that don't normally mix well. The ups and downs, the highs, the lows, the turbulence, you know, um, still blending all of that together. So we have this temperance in the third position, which is the future energy. So I feel like whatever it is that you're going through, it will work itself out. It's already been worked out, and you're still headed towards success at the end of the day. This is an embodiment that gives me courage. But as of right now, there's some stress. Something looks like it's bringing Aquarius to a breaking point. So let's put it in a Celtic cross to get more information. So like Pisces reading was so straightforward, we left it at that. To leave room for the houses we get into and we see some turbulence like this one. So I just want to take a look. Dear Holy Spirit, please continue. Alright, so here, I like working with a stacked deck because I like to see the sequential order where we are in the karmic pattern. So hold on, I need to turn this fan on me. I'm in my own sweatshop, so to speak. It's hot. Let's take a look at these card combinations here. Okay, so it's in its sequential order, starting with the swords, the Ten of Swords, Page of Swords, Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords, King of Swords, Ace of Cups, Two of Cups, Three of Cups, Four of Cups, Five of Cups, Six of Cups, Seven of Cups, Eight of Cups, Nine of Cups, Ten of Cups. So see, at the end of the day, we do have the Ten of Cups there at the end of the day. But we're looking at a whole spectrum here of intense, stressful energy, starting with the Ten of Swords. So it looks like there could have been some communication. Hey, Neon. Hi, everybody. Good to see you guys. Looks like there could have been some communication, cold communication. Maybe it ended up in an argument or just cold. But at the end of the day, there's love. Now, I wonder if this love is another connection, you know, that is presented to Aquarius. Maybe Aquarius is pulled in a couple different directions here. But whatever happened in that energy brought about some emotional disorientation and detachment, walking away. And the Nine of Cups is there with the Ten of Cups. So overall, I feel like I'm getting a confirmation that in the biggest picture, things are still headed in a good direction. But Aquarius has a lot of things on their plate. So could be, okay, so there's the Nine of Swords. All right, so this looks like a wrench, you know, a curveball potentially, or just something of the many things that's on Aquarius's plate. Kind of stressful. That's what I'm looking at there. Okay, so let's see. I want to clarify that some more. Let's see. Dear Holy Spirit, please clarify the fourth position in the many card combinations here. Please consolidate, reiterate, expound upon, and or redirect. Okay, so I'm getting the King of Pentacles. Okay, the Four of Fire. The Magician. Seven of Cups. Page of Fire. Yeah. So it looks like something may be calling you in two different directions. Like Aquarius, it looks like you could have been finding yourself in a dynamic, you know, in a situation, in an environment. You were handling that and you're being pulled in a different direction. Maybe towards your home. If you were, you know, hanging out with a friend, family, acquaintance or something, and dealing with the dynamic there, being pulled home. You could have been working with work or something, because it was the King of Pentacles that made an appearance first, and then the Four of Fire, which is like at a home front or even a home office. But it looks like being pulled in two different directions potentially. The Justice, Seven of Pentacles, Temperance. It's like everybody needs you, and everybody needs you to find a solution for everything, and everybody calling on you to come to the rescue. All right, but there's a reconciliation on the horizon as well. So it looks like you have a lot of things as if you have a lot of pots on the stove, and um, several of them came to boil or came to stew. Time to time to take them all off at the same time type of energy, or time to stir one, time to transfer another, etc., etc. Looks like that kind of energy. Dear Holy Spirit, is it possible to consolidate? Well, look, I'm getting the Nine of Swords to consolidate it, which is this card right here. That's already on the reading table. Okay. So I'm going to put the Page of Swords there to consolidate it in that case. And then we'll continue. Dear Holy Spirit, please continue. Well, let's restack. Okay. Alright, Six of Fire. Emperor. Ace of Cups. Queen of Pentacles. Knight of Fire. And the Hierophant. Okay, so it looks like another opportunity is on the horizon for you, Aquarius. Like I said, multiple things. It looks like there's potentially multiple things brewing and stewing right now for you, and it looks like potentially multiple of those pots came to your attention to tend to it, but it looks like an opportunity potentially. The Hierophant is in the outcome here, so there's a potential for reconciliation, raising things to a higher level of commitment, maybe coming to some sort of an agreement, a collaboration together. Let me clarify that. Hello in the chat. Dear Holy Spirit, please clarify the Hierophant. Okay. It's being clarified with the Ace of Swords, so a sense of clarity, understanding, getting out of the fog. But it also looks like it will require you to go see somebody. Empress. Seven of Cups. Nine of Pentacles. Two of Fire. Okay. Alright, so, and in general, I'm clarifying it. It seems to overall have a positive energy at the end of the day. But it could be some co-parenting, because I'm getting Emperor and Empress energy around here. But I have the Nine of Pentacles to describe the home front. But it also looks like traveling. So wherever you find yourself, it looks like something, somebody, an urgency or a desire is calling you home, wanting your attention. Okay, so I'm just going to pick up the cards and move us to our next house, which is Capricorn's house, in just a moment. Okay. So now we're moving to the next house here, the 10th house, Capricorn's house. Sorry, I'm trying to talk loud, guys. I'll try to talk louder. Capricorn, 10th house. Dear Holy Spirit, please give me a reading. Please put resonance in the deck for the 10th house, Capricorn's house. Oh, goodness. I have to go see what they're barking for. Be right back. Okay. Seven of Swords, Two of Pentacles, and the Temperance. Yeesh. And that's the Apprentice coming in the reverse. Man. What's up with this Seven of Sword energy? Two of Pentacles. I have to clarify. Let's see. King of Pentacles. Seven of Fire. And there goes that. Okay. So, Okay, so this energy here, there's some retracted comments I can't see. They were retracted before I could read them. But hi everybody, thank you for your support on the video and on the channel. This is a reading for the 10th house. I'm reminded of the disclaimer though that this is a reading that's not going to resonate with everybody. It's not intended to. This one here seems to be talking about maybe some instability coming toward this particular Capricorn. On the reading table being described with the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords, I feel like it seems like it's on the table trying to think outside of the box, trying to come up with an alternative. The Seven of Pentacles, like a creative way in regard, it seems like in regard to making money potentially, like for an example, multiplying streams of income. With the Two of Pentacles there, clarifying it with the Seven of Fire. That Apprentice in the reverse seems like in the upright it would talk about moving forward into another chapter and a new beginning. But in reverse for me, it describes going, like staying in the chapter that the current is in and maybe wanting to rework something. So it's kind of interesting reading all together because it's almost like, Capricorn, what do you have up your sleeve? But is it maybe you're thinking about getting another job, like two jobs, multiplying your streams of income, holding on to this job and then also getting another one, or looking for another one while you hold on to this one? That's what the Seven of Swords seems to be there to suggest, with it having the King of Pentacles to clarify it. Okay. But yeah, that's the best scenario. It looks like what is being implied. See here. Dear Holy Spirit, please continue. See here how once again the King of Pentacles is coming around the Two of Pentacles now. Dear Holy Spirit, please clarify the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles, why is the Three of Pentacles here? Three of Pentacles looks like obstructive interference, or look, and I'm getting pointed back. I'm trying to clarify the Three of Pentacles. I'm getting shown the Two of Pentacles here in the challenging position. So yeah, I feel like I have a confirmation as far as that's concerned. If it were a relationship that was possibly, I'm still not seeing, it just, it's not impossible for this to be implying to a relationship. It almost seems that it has more to do with like I said, getting another job in the meantime, because the job is either too much for the pay, for an example, like the work is becoming too demanding, and plus it looks like there's some sort of obstructive interference, but it might not have the intention to be obstructive, but like a meeting that's stressful. It's given the Nine of Swords when I clarified it. Otherwise, if it's not getting another job, but finding a creative way to kind of like cut corners to get everything done and to address a particular matter of urgency that just came up at the same time. But it just looks like pretty exhausting. Two of Pentacles. Okay, gonna go ahead and continue moving to our next house, and we'll be back here as soon as possible to continue working on it. We'll be back. Let's see. Okay. Thank you for your patience. Now we're moving to the ninth house, which is Sagittarius's house. Dear Holy Spirit, please give me a reading for Sagittarius, aka the ninth house. All right. So, hello. Hey, in the chat. Hi, everybody. Thank you for your support on the video and on the channel and for interacting with me in the chat. Okay, so for this ninth house, aka Sagittarius reading, again, being reminded of the disclaimer, this is not intended to resonate with everyone. This particular Sagittarius is whatever it is that this Sagittarius is focused on, is going through a process of the 15th major arcana, which governs rules, regulations, expectations, boundaries, work ethic, career. You know, it has that type of embodiment and symbolism there. And wherever rules and boundaries are created, that establishes the jurisdiction of overindulgence, toxicity, and addictions, overdoing something and even becoming offensive in the process, or if it has to do with something analytical or like a test or like pushing a prototype through, something like that, then it would talk about the rules, the regulations. Anyhow, what this Sagittarius is focused on is moving through a process as such. And it looks like this process is pretty, it looks strenuous, you know? It looks like it's also in phases. Like there might be a step 1 and a step 2 and a step 3 of phases that it has to go through before it goes all the way through. So again, with me doing temporary or short-term energy readings, as energy changes all the time, so we'll do an update as soon as possible. This system of structure, rules, regulations, etc., it extends throughout the duration of this particular reading. So we'll check back in some hours, like probably 8 hours or so. We'll be back to check it again and see what it looks like. But that's pretty much what I have for Sagittarius. So it looks like what Sagittarius is working on, what they're focused on. I'm going to clarify this. And also, lately I've been getting some feedback, some confirmations in real time that have resonated with the Sagittarius readings to pertain to travel. So this is interesting, like, because that's something that these readings can become all encompassing when you're familiar with the houses and what the houses govern. But let's take a look. I'm going to break this down to look at it further. Something else to take note too is that it looks like it's very important that these structures are met, that these guidelines are met. Otherwise, it looks like there could be a setback. It also looks like for this particular Sagittarius, they're familiar with these guidelines and have gone through the process before. So it's kind of like a plus, a good thing, because this is something that you're familiar with. So that means that you should, you have a better chance at knowing what's expected and knowing how to meet the challenge. And at the end of the day, according to the schematic that we just built in the Celtic cross, you are successful. At the end of the day, I have the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Fire, so that talks about success. Yes, you look like you're very suitable to meet these guidelines. And that's what I was looking for. All right. So the message of highlighted area of concern is just to pay attention, just to make sure that there's not any changes in the guidelines. There might be a subtle change than what you're used to. But overall, it looks like there are a select few in the audience that have gone through it. So whatever it is that you're focused on, yes, you're going through this process. And it looks like you've been through it before, so you're familiar with it. There could be a little difference, though, than the way that you're familiar with it before. That's the highlighted area of concern, to make sure you just double check that. And it looks like you're definitely able to. You're competent. You're you are able. This is well within your scope of expertise. It looks like you have everything that you need to be successful. And at the end of the day, I do see success for you. What's the process? It's a general reading, so I don't have the details because it looks like it could be a vast array of what the Sagittarius is working on. I do, so just to allow it to resonate with many Sagittarius is whatever it is that they've focused on, because the King of Pentacles is what comes on the stage. So the King of Pentacles is something that Sagittarius has been working on for a while, because the Pentacle embodiment takes a while to cultivate and be pronounced in a reading such as this. So like I said, if it has to do with travel, for an example, then the Sagittarius has traveled before. They're familiar. For an example, they would be familiar with the process of traveling, familiar with potentially the airlines that they're going to take, familiar with their safety or security protocols to get on the thing. There just might be a little difference, but it could just be that simple, something that they've done before. If it's a prototype, or, the Sagittarius is working on inventing something, or like a patent, producing a pattern or doing something, then putting that pattern through the process. It could be something like that. Let's see. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you too. Now, if it's a relationship, let me look there for relationship hints. But it seemed to be more technical, something that Sagittarius is working on, something that has potential to make money in the future. For some of the Sagittarius, it looks like that. Or like I said, it has to do with traveling. So there might be a new item that Sagittarius might want to travel and go through customs, for an example. It could be something like that. But let's take a look here. Okay, if it has to deal with a relationship, though, then it would talk about a relationship that broke up in the recent past. Looks like a relationship that broke up, and there is a high likelihood, a high potential for a reconciliation. At the end of the day, it does look like this reconciliation takes place. Reconciliation does happen. And moves the connection to the next chapter, which looks like is desired for Sagittarius. And it looks like the person that Sagittarius is dealing with in this capacity is kind of cold, giving Sagittarius a cold shoulder, somebody who's very much, like a rules and regulation type person, like a person that has standards and boundaries, like a person that has deal breakers, and it feels that whatever these deal breakers are, Sagittarius would be familiar with this person and their ways. And this would suggest, Sagittarius, if you want to come out of the code with this person, you know how to behave, you know how to present yourself, and you're going to have to present yourself that way for this person to start taking you serious. Otherwise, it looks like they're not going to. They're not going to take you serious. But it does look like Sagittarius wants to come out of the code with this person, and that Sagittarius knows exactly the buttons to push with this person. They're just wondering, it looks like Sagittarius is just wondering if it's too late to come correct with this person. And just with the general energy that I'm looking at on the table, no, it's not too late. But if you don't come correct, then this reconciliation isn't going to happen. But I don't see that on the table at all. It looks like there's going to be a reconciliation. Like I said, even if it's a pattern or whatever project Sagittarius is focused on, they're going through the rules and the regulations and the guidelines. They're going through that. They're going through customs, whatever it is. And it looks like Sagittarius is going to be successful at the end of the day. And this is the energy that I see for the 9th house at this time. And I'll be back to do another as soon as possible. Thank you for your patience. So now we're going to move to our next house, which is for Scorpio, the 8th house. You're welcome. Thank you too. I appreciate you so much. Dear Holy Spirit, please give me a reading for Scorpio, aka the 8th house. Let's see. Scorpio. Oh no. Looks, I have stress on the table. Tossing and turning about something. Looks like there was a recent heartbreak in the past or something came to light that has Scorpio uncomfortable. Let me see. Yeah, like an argument that's still unsettled. It's unsettling, unnerving. An argument. Yeah. It seems like somebody might be in your energy. Oh. Seems like somebody might be in Scorpio's energy, agitating them. Looks like with arguing, and just kind of nagging and really stressing Scorpio out. So this is a general reading. It's not intended to resonate with everyone. This particular Scorpio is stressed out, like even at night. And when they wake up in the morning, this person looks like they're still going on with this stress. What is the stress about? Let me see. Let's see. Dear Holy Spirit, please clarify the Three of Pentacles. Now the Three of Swords, which is this card on the table. Alright. Okay, let me see. Well, it looks like for a select few Scorpio in the audience, dealing with someone who backstabbed you, betrayed you. And it looks like Scorpio is picking up and moving on. And it looks like the person who backstabbed you, betrayed you, keeping in mind when I say Scorpio, it could be someone in Scorpio's energy field, especially in the case of a twin flame or soulmate connection. But in any case, this is Scorpio's reading, so it looks like somebody backstabbed Scorpio, betrayed Scorpio, cheated on Scorpio, for an example. Scorpio is picking up and moving on, and it looks like this person is giving you a lot of heat about it, a lot of stress about it. If they're saying some things to you, talking to you, arguing at you, trying to rub stuff in your face, it feels manipulative and gaslighting. But anyhow, I see Scorpio emotionally detaching and walking away from this connection. And as the further and further away they get from the connection, the more at peace they feel within their own energy away from this person. But if Scorpio's the one that cheated on somebody, I'm not really sure, like I said, who did it. It could be mutual. Maybe there was some tit for tat. But the connection seems toxic. And like there is a breakup. And it feels difficult to resolve because it looks like space is needed at the moment. Otherwise, there's a lot of confusion and it's hard to get past. Let me see. I know one thing. In a situation like this, you just want to know, did that person ever really love me? Is that person going to miss me? How could they just throw our relationship away? Why don't they want to fight for this? That's the sentiment in the air. But it does suggest, yes, they have feelings here in this connection. And no, it is not easy to walk away. It looks like they have to walk away to preserve their peace, because it seems like it's impossible to have peace in the moment while still in the midst of it all. That's what it looks like. But it feels like, it looks like it's hard to stay and it's also hard to walk away. But what makes the most sense is to walk away. It also looks like there's a select few in the audience that have gone as far as getting counseling, or they're thinking about getting counseling. It looks like there's a high likelihood of counseling, even if it is seeking somebody to vent to try to get some understanding. There's a lot of lack of understanding, a lot of potential confusion and uncertainty, but to try to avoid the confusion and getting stuck in stagnant confusion or delusions, that's another reason they're choosing to walk away. Emotionally detached. But let's see here. That's one translation for a select few. Let's see. You might wonder, how did I get to that? How did I get to that summary? So let's see. At the top and bottom of the deck is the Ten of Cups and the Seven of Cups. This is delusion, illusion, confusion, overwhelm, emotional disturbance. And this is the Ten of Cups though. Yes, there was love here. Yes, there's still feelings here, despite the turmoil. Where do you get walking away from? Oh, good question. The Chariot with the Nine of Swords. The Chariot is moving forward. It's a major arcana that moves the current forward regardless what blockages are in front of them. And this is the stress. This is how I could tell that there's stress staying in the situation, and it's also stressful even thinking about moving away. So that's where I got that from. Let's see, the Strength. And then it looks like even if and when they try to stay, it feels that there's a strong urgency to push them, move them away. So these are major arcanas which feel like it's in God's hands, and the red flags and the synchronicities are also pointing to move away from the situation to preserve oneself sanity. Here again is the Apprentice. This is a representation of a new start, a new journey, a new beginning after an ending. And there's the Three of Swords, so you can see that it's painful regardless. It's painful to walk away. It's not comfortable thinking about that new chapter. When I try to clarify the Three of Pentacles, which these two go together, so it looks like there is some counseling or an attempt to get some counseling, but also it's not effective. It's walking away, and this could be obstructive interference of another kind. Maybe there's gossip going on, or a group of people that's just making it even worse. Because when I clarified the Three of Pentacles, I got the Three of Swords again. So seeing the Three of Swords clarify the Three of Pentacles, looking at all of those threes there is obstructive interference, and that's also where there's a suggestion that somebody cheated, somebody, you know, abused the relationship. And then you also see the Scorpio, you know, walking away towards the moon in this illustration, and this is the literal moon. So again, to stay or to leave, there's still a sense of unknown, there's still a sense of confusion, and it's just unsettling. It feels like the best thing for them to do is to move on to prevent stagnation. And at the end of the day, there's the Nine of Cups. The further and further they get away from this connection, withdraw, get back to their own energy, the more to themselves they begin to feel, back to themselves, where they can be self-sustained, their cups are overflowing, they're back to their own energy. That seems like the best recourse to take in the situation. And again, how you know that they're avoiding stagnancy is because the King of Fire is in the past position. The King of Fire is that movement, that dynamic movement. And you see, this is also movement, and the Eight of Cups in the near future position, moving and emotionally detaching. So that's where that translation came from. Alright. So I just need a moment to pick up the cards and move us to our next reading, which is going to be for Libra. Okay, Libra. The 7th house. Dear Holy Spirit, please give me a reading for Libra. Please put resonance in the deck for Libra. Okay. So this reading talks about Libra getting their beauty sleep. They got to be beautiful when they wake up in the morning, so they're definitely getting their beauty sleep. Period. And that's what I got for Libra. Now let's see what's going on. It does say that though. Libra gotta get their beauty sleep, man. They gotta be prepared for the challenges of the world tomorrow. So they got a lot going on, man. They ain't got time for the shenanigans. um, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. They're in the mode to work. What is it? Work smart, not hard. Work smart, not hard. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looks like there's some stressful things going on, but I feel like Libra is just taking it all in stride with the High Priestess. That Nine of Swords being clarified with the High Priestess, that they have an inner knowing, inner wisdom, inner leading and guidance, navigating, you know, and making peace with all the stress and one thing at a time. That's really the energy. So we'll be back in a couple of hours, like at least 8 hours or so, to do an update on our readings, but that's mostly what it's given me for Libra. So we'll go to our next house, which is the 6th house, Virgo. Okay. The 6th house, Virgo's house. Dear Holy Spirit, please give me a reading for Virgo, aka the 6th house. Okay, so let's see. Dear Holy Spirit, please clarify these card positions. The 3 cards on the table. Okay. Alright, so for Virgo, I see Virgo on course, moving out of a toxic situation into a better situation, establishing some boundaries and blocks and walls up, resistance to shun out, to keep out, to restrict toxicity coming towards them in the near future. It looks like Virgo has their eye on the prize and they're headed towards a good place where synchronicity, the universe, the Most High has been calling them to abundance and manifestation. So they're moving towards a new chapter. But first, it looks like they're going to rest in peace in a good place. The Magician and the Alchemist are the card combinations that came out in my 3rd placement. So that's where Virgo is headed, and blocking out obstructive interference, strong towers, distractions, toxicity, boundary crossing, addictions, and overindulgences, working towards being disciplined and focused. That's what I have for Virgo. All right. Now moving to my next house, which is the 5th house for Leo, in just a moment. Okay. All right. So the 5th house is Leo's house. Dear Holy Spirit, please give me a reading for Leo, the 5th house. Alright, so in this energy scan for Leo, it seems that Leo is focused on money, making money. So it looks like a lot of Leos are finding themselves in a flow, and it shows that you're making money, you're in your craft, you're in your niche. Life is on autopilot, it looks like. You're coasting in a good place. It looks like you're able to enjoy the fruit of your labor. And also looks like you're moving towards abundance as well. A place where manifestation, where things should align, where you could even meet the person, you know, Mr. and or Mrs. Right for those of you who are single. But it looks like some good energy, like a prayer answered, is meeting you in the near future with that Magician and the High Priestess with the Apprentice on the top and bottom of the deck. And so, yeah, that's what it seems like. For the 5th house, I'll be back in about 8 hours to do an update on this. But for the moment, just looking at the trajectory and seeing how the energy is moving. Next, we'll move to our 4th house, which is Cancer's house. And let's see. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Major Arcana. 7. 8 of Pentacles. Alright. Dear Holy Spirit, please give me a reading for Cancer, aka the 4th house. Temperance. Dear Holy Spirit, please elaborate So for the 4th house, it seems that we're dealing with a heartbreak for the particular select few Cancers in the collective that might resonate with the heartbreak. It seems that there was a breaking point, a deal breaker, a breaking point. There might be Okay, well, there's one translation, a heartbreak and then a deal breaking that brought them to their breaking point. They're moving on into their new chapter, moving towards healing, moving toward abundance, and synchronicities should come into alignment, showing signs and confirmations that you are where you're supposed to be. So it looks like there's a shift, bringing Cancer into alignment with their purpose and with where they're supposed to be, where the Most High would have you be for your blessings. It looks like you're moving in that direction against all odds. For some others in the audience, it looks like there's a deadline. So if it's not about love and a deal breaker, it looks like there's a certain it looks like there's a certain deadline, and you guys might have missed a deadline in the recent past, and there may be another deadline coming up. So I see your energy moving in that direction to meet this deadline, and there you will have success. It looks like you're going to make your deadline and just in time. So stay focused would be the highlighted area of concern for this message, and I'll be back to do another update as soon as possible. Okay, so our next reading is going to be for the third house, aka Gemini. Dear Holy Spirit, please give me a message for Gemini, aka the third house. All right, so let's see. For this Gemini here, coming on the stage with a broken heart, some offense was made in the past. It looks like in the present moment, Gemini is working on clearing the air, clearing the atmosphere, clearing blockages, and looks like just holding on. Holding on. All right, and that's really what I have. And it looks like if there's communication coming towards Gemini, for an example, that might inspire Gemini to move in a particular direction. It looks like any direction they choose to move, they kind of look energetically deadlocked, like energetically it looks like in this esoteric way that I explain stuff, the Most High, the universe, collective energy and karma is moving Gemini into alignment for epiphanies, the ability to think outside of the box, answers to questions that they may have been wondering for a long time, finally being answered, into this dynamic phase of inspiration and magnetism, and almost like their own energy, basically like magician energy, their own energy, higher understanding and knowledge, and about a lot of things at once. It looks like the energy overall is moving, trying to move Gemini in that direction, even through the process of elimination. But at the moment, it seems like if there's communication coming to Gemini to move them or persuade them in a particular way, if Gemini were to move in that direction, which I don't see them doing, but they might be tempted to do it, so they very well just might. But it seems like it would lead them into another heartbreak, another disappointment. I don't see stagnation happening though. It feels like all the energy on the table is very energetic, even if and when they choose to stay in one place and kind of just on autopilot, dealing with what's in front of them. And it feels like as they deal with what's in front of them and stay in place, like just focused on that and not being maybe moved by the beat of someone else's drum, persuaded, by whatever somebody else might say to them. The more that they stay in their own energy, just stay where they are, it feels like that's when they are at their best in the moment. They may, what I call it is being caught up in the spirit. They may very well find themselves like caught up in the spirit, in a muse, in a creative muse, like I said, an intellectual muse, philosophical muse, just able to solve problems, have answers, have the answers, have the wisdom. And it feels like it's very important for Gemini to be in that state that's calling. It seems like everything is calling Gemini to be in that state right now. And it looks like, the more and the longer you get to stay in that energy, Gemini, the more that it's going to contribute to you in a great way, in a major way, moving forward in this chapter, in your next chapter, and so forth and so on. Like even for a lifetime, something that you're going through right now feels like it's divinely appointed, and it will have long-lasting benefits. But that's what I see for the third house right now. I'll be back to do another reading as soon as possible. All right, the next house we're going to is the second house, Taurus's house. Dear Holy Spirit, please give me a reading for Taurus. Please clarify the cards on the reading table for Taurus, aka the second house. Okay, so this one for Taurus. I was gonna say first off, Taurus is getting their beauty sleep too. They gotta be beautiful, okay? Yeah, they're the embodiment of Venus too. We've seen the same thing for Libra, getting their beauty sleep, preparing for tomorrow. Everything will be everything tomorrow. It'll still be there for them to work on it tomorrow. In a couple of hours, 8 hours or so, whenever they wake up. They're getting their beauty sleep right now. It reminds me, I do the short-term energy readings. Energy changes all the time. Even a simple thought could change the trajectory of the way energy is moving. So while they're getting their beauty sleep and resting up, this could be, prolonged, like even during the day. It looks like they've already blocked out toxic energy, boundary crossing energy. They're protecting their energy, protecting their peace. So anything that has exhibited some toxicity in the past, boundary crossing in the past, or just that's not giving them peace, they've already blocked it out and governing their own energy, their space, their mind, and etc., etc., to what they'll let in and what they'll let out so they can focus on what they got going on in the near future. It looks like things are coming into alignment for Taurus. Yeah, that alignment of prosperity, of abundance, of manifestation, the things that they've been working on for a minute. You see all them pentacles there in the first position. The Four of Swords are being clarified with the Nine of Pentacles. And we know Taurus deals with pentacles along with the rest of the earth signs, but it suggests that yes, Taurus is focused on their money and they got money on their mind, everything foundational and fundamental to build and to have sustainability and to enjoy the pleasures. They work hard and play hard. And so things are coming into alignment. If there's investments for Taurus that they've been sitting on, waiting for the right time to cash in, it looks like the right time will be coming up sooner than later, because I can see it in the scan. Looks like it's in that third placement. I've been seeing it on the horizon for Taurus for a minute. So the highlighted area of concern for Taurus is to be on the lookout. Watch your investments. If you have things tied up in the investment, watch it. Watch the market, because it looks like that time to cash in, if that's what you want to do, is on the horizon. As it pertains to a relationship, for an example, Taurus might have a couple of love interests in mind. Maybe there's one in particular. However, it looks like the energy is also approaching for Mr. and or Mrs. Right to come toward them, or, to come into fruition, to come into focus as well. Yep. So that's pretty much what I got for Taurus. It seems, I don't even see the Eight of Swords. Rather than that, I see the Four of Swords, which is much better, because the Eight of Swords embodies entanglement, and it's kind of like an uncomfortable self-imposed imprisonment. But it seems that in the near future, if there's something that Taurus has been holding on to out of obligations, like for their investments or otherwise, it looks like, again, there's a time of release where they'll be, giving thanks to everything in their past and walking towards a new chapter, emotionally disconnecting to walk towards some newness. So anyhow, if that makes any sense, that's what I have for the second house. Now, last but not least, we'll be moving to our first house, which is Aries house. As soon as I pick up the cards here, we'll be able to move forward. Okay. Aries, the first house. Dear Holy Spirit, please give me a reading for Aries, the first house. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Mm. Mm. Okay, Aries. Alright. I'm usually impressed with Aries. Their readings are so dope. Hold on, that was cool. Okay, but this reading basically says Aries is prepared for any and everything. Aries Aries is prepared for any and everything. They're ready to match that energy. However you coming, that's how that's how they're coming. That's what it says. But it does look like there might be something in particular that Aries is waiting for. But anyhow, it feels like Aries is standing on ready to meet any challenge. With the Ace of Swords being clarified by the Seven of Swords, the Three of Fire being clarified with the Page of Fire, and the Temperance being clarified with their very own energy, the Emperor. So, man, that's very short, simple, straightforward reading for Aries. It feels like Aries has already handled their business, taken care of business, gone on a journey, came back successfully, probably met a lot of curveballs, successfully pulled a couple of rabbits out of their head, out of their hats, and yes, wow, how beautiful. But anyway, we'll be back to do another reading as soon as possible. That's what I have for now. Signing off until next time. Peace. Thank you so much for your support on the video and on the channel. We'll be back.